This is a production of the Gold Arrow Podcast Network. Hello and welcome to the Gold Arrow Camp Pog-Cast, a podcast for friends of Gold Arrow Camp. Throughout the year, we join you to bring your day some of what makes Gold Arrow special. Our goal is to help you have fun, make friends, and grow throughout the year, not just when you're at GAC. Since we can't get together in real life, we gather here, around the virtual campfire. We have some of your favorite parts of morning assembly, like wows and joke of the day. We also have interviews with experienced campers and some of your favorite counselors. We think it's a lot of fun, and we're glad you joined us here on the podcast. This is episode 32, where today we're joined by a waterfront counselor who just finished her first summer at GAC. It's Avo. Today we're running an interview I did with Avo. This was Avo's first summer at GAC, and she came for the same reason that a lot of campers come to GAC. That is, one of her friends told her she should come. She has some great insight into how to approach camp as a new member of our family, someone who's never been there before. She also shared some insights about Shaver Island. Shaver Island is, for both her and I, a special place where kids can be removed even from the hustle and bustle of main camp on Huntington Lake. I love how the island life is really deliberate. Wake up, head to the lake, play cards or beach games, water ski, wakeboard, kneeboard, wake surf, maybe just swim out to the whoosh. Lunch, repeat it all after lunch, dinner, and then campfire and sleeping on the beach under the stars. It really is special. I haven't really been practicing guitar very much, but I'm going to play some anyway just so that you guys can hold me accountable. Oh, welcome to the podcast, Avo. Welcome aboard.
Thanks for having me. It's so good to be here. I was just missing camp, so I thought this would be a great opportunity to talk about that and kind of reminisce about all the good times I had. So, yeah, let's get started.
Totally agree. That's the best part of the podcast is it makes us feel for like 17 or 18 minutes like we're actually back at camp.
Oh, yeah. Just so many good times, memories. And this was my first year at GAC, actually. So it was a totally new experience for me. Tumbleweed actually was my college roommate, and so she told me about it. She was for about 7 years, I believe. And so she reached out to me and said, "Hey, what are you doing this summer?" And, I'm from Chicago and I had nothing better to do. And so she kind of signed me up, I guess, and I applied and kind of went with it. And I went to an adventure camp as a kid, so this was kind of a way for me to, relive that experience and just get out in the wild west.
Yeah, indeed.
And I just loved every second of it. So it was a great opportunity.
I was going to ask, because I had no idea. I just knew that it was your first year. So I didn't realize you were college roommates with Tumbleweed.
Yeah. So we were actually in the same sorority.
Okay.
We did a semester out in LA. We went to school in Nashville together, but we did a semester out in LA and became really close. And her and I just love, we would go hiking together and we loved outdoors. And she's from Huntington Beach, so she's a California local. But it was a great opportunity. And I kind of went not really knowing anyone except for her. And I made so many friends from the experience. And to this day, I still keep in touch with people from all over different areas. So yeah, it's been an incredible experience for sure.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, because I knew it was your first year and you came in kind of not a part of the family yet. And I was going to ask what advice you might have for campers who are in that same situation, because I know a lot of times campers are super anxious because they don't come with any friends and maybe they've never been to camp, but you just did that. And so what advice might you have for campers who are in that same kind of situation?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of campers, these kids are from all over really, but a lot of them are from cities and they just haven't really had that experience to be outside of their, where they grew up. And just being in a new place is scary. You don't really a lot of them don't really come with other friends, and so just kind of being somewhere new is definitely intimidating at first. Seeing how welcoming everybody was, everyone had a smile on their face. They came in open arms and were kind of like, "Hey, this is Goldero. This is what we do here." And my advice would be just to be yourself, because someone's going to immediately love who you are, and you're going to instantly connect with someone no matter what. And just having that environment where you're away from your phone and you're not glued to anything technologically based. It's just a great experience because you can really make genuine connections and friendships with people. And, I had really close friends from week 1 of Tweak Week, which is essentially like training week for counselors. And so my advice is just be yourself and make the most of it, and don't be afraid to be silly or goofy, and just kind of go in with an open mind. And yeah, just take every second and make the most out of it, because you're going to have a great experience.
Yeah, I think that's a really good advice, because a lot of times people come in and when you're nervous, your first instinct is to kind of cover yourself in a shield of, I don't want anybody to know who I am.
Right,
But
yeah.
when you really come into camp open and willing to share who you are, I think that really helps people make friends quickly. And I think camp's awesome for that personally, but I'm biased.
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of the icebreakers in the games that we played, even from week 1, that definitely helped kind of get me outside my shell, because you kind of are reserved at first. You don't
Sure.
really know anybody, and you don't feel exactly comfortable yet. So why would you be willing to just be yourself right off the bat? But getting to know people, being silly, having those icebreakers, and just having fun is the greatest way to make those friendships and connections, in my opinion, because you can just be your authentic self, and there's no pressure, and everyone is just there to enjoy the outdoors and be together. And the campfires were some of my favorite times to get
Yeah.
to know people, because it's just the time where you like unwind from your day. We have this thing called High-Low Hero, and it's basically your high of the day, your low of the day, and who was your hero. Or we had taco, which was also one of my favorite. It was what your favorite food of the day was. So I would ask my campers that a lot, and just to hear their opinions and get the conversation going was a great way to get to know each other and just kind of hear about everyone's experience about camp each day.
Yeah.
So yeah, just having those open-ended questions is good.
No, I think it's, we do, I've got Ellie is 6 and Greta's 3, and we do High-Low Hero around the table at night, and it's so much fun. Greta hasn't figured it out quite yet. Every day she says that her high is you pick me up from school, and my low is you pick me up from school, and my hero is Ellie. That's every day we get the same 3, but we're working towards it.
Greta, yeah, they were a fun time. They would always love being on stage.
Oh yeah, yeah. They hate attention.
Yeah.
They really hate it when people are looking at them.
Oh, maybe celebrities.
So, I guess normally I would have started with this, but we just dove right into stuff. So, for people who don't know you, because it is your first year, or was your first year, what did you do at camp this summer? What was your job?
Yeah, so I kind of went in, and I love water. I water skied as a kid, and I saw this position, and Tumbleweed was like, "Hey, I'm gonna do waterfront counselor. You should do it too." And so I was like, "Okay, if you're
right.
doing it." Like, what does this entail? So I kind of read about it, and I was like, "Okay, I could do this." Being on the water every day sounds like a dream come true. And so essentially, my job was, take kids wakeboarding, water skiing, wake surfing on our new wake surf boat, and then as well to do like paddle boarding activities like canoeing, kayaking, big stuff. My job was essentially to take kids out on the water and have fun on the lake. Huntington Lake, we did a lot of knee ski wake activities, so wakeboarding, kneeboarding, water skiing, as well as the kayaking, canoeing, these new things called corkles, which are essentially big frisbees that kids will stand in or sit in, and they just kind of have fun. And
they're so good.
Yeah, they just love it. They have such a good time, and they get really, really excited about it. We had the SUP. What else did we do? Fishing.
And you also drove boats on the island, right? You went to Shaver?
Yeah, so I had a different experience I didn't have a cabin the first month. I was actually living on Shaver Island, which was my favorite thing. I became a little islander, and so basically at Shaver Island, you take the kids out the new ski wake activities and the wake surfing, which is a fun activity that kids really loved. And my favorite experience there was getting kids up on these skis or whatever it was their first time. There was a lot of and unsure about just even being in the water.
Oh, sure.
Had one girl that was scared of fish, and I got her in the water. She was so
fair
scared.
enough.
She's like, I saw fish, like it's gonna get me. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna convince you that there's no fish, because there are, but
Right.
they're not gonna hurt you, I promise. They're scared of you. So she had a blast. She loved it, and just like little experiences like that really got to me. And it was a great summer. I mean, great weather, great area to be in. The Sierra Mountains is the most beautiful place I've ever been, probably.
It really is. It's spectacular.
Yeah, definitely. So Shaver was a fun little tidbit of my summer for sure. I had a lot of campers enjoy it, and just being on the water is great.
I agree. I think it's amazing that we can run like an island camp that is part of main camp. Like when you think about it, it kind of hurts your brain. You're like, oh, right, you've got a camp, and then you also have an island, which is like a camp, and it's a little camp within camp.
You have a lot more responsibility on the island, but I really appreciated that aspect of it, because I felt like I had more responsibility, and you're able to do more, and it was really cool. And Baboon was great. He's the island director, and he's a fantastic leader as well. So
I was gonna say you got to hang out with Baboon for the first couple sessions, which is pretty awesome, because I think Baboon is a really special dude.
Yeah, he's very special. He's very experienced. He knows what he's doing, especially with these water sports.
He's incredible.
He's a professional wakeboarder at a time, and he's just all around great with the kids and everything. So, I mean, all of the leadership has been fantastic from what I've seen, and just from my experience there, even as a first year. So, yeah.
So, in that year, so you've got 1 year worth of memories to draw from. What's your absolute favorite camp memory?
Oh gosh, I knew you were going to ask that. It's hard because it's all around really great, but let me think. I really enjoyed just my time at Shaver. The first week I was like, oh my gosh, what am I getting myself into? I'm on this island. Am I going to go crazy and like have island fever? Or but no, it was a great experience just running the boats. I am very much someone who loves being on water, and so I think just the greatest memory was getting kids up on a water ski or wakeboard their first time, and having that look in their eyes of excitement. Wow, they're like, wow, I can do this, like look at me go. And they just became more confident, and some kids would come back because they were monthers, or they would do like 3 weeks, and just kind of seeing them grow throughout that process.
Oh yeah,
really especially cool. But yeah, other than that, I would say, I mean, I really enjoyed the skits that we would do at Big Campfire. Those were really fun to do with your campers, and just kind of watch kids get excited and goofy on stage. It really gets them out of their shell, because I was shy as a kid. I was pretty quiet, and I didn't really put myself out there with things like that. I remember I had to do a school play, and I just hated every minute of it. I was like the tree in the background, not doing anything. I still hated it, but yeah, I think just having all the activities. We have GACting, we have arts and crafts. There's just everything for anyone, and just so many interests. That was great. I really enjoyed playing guitar for my campers. At the end of the day, just kind of unwind, because I got to work on my guitar skills in the summer, and then they just loved hearing camp songs around the fire or what have you. So just gosh, that's a hard question. Everything.
It's like the whole summer from the day I showed up until right before I left. That's my favorite memory.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yep.
Fair enough. We'll take it. All right, Avo. It's time for the speed round. 5 questions we ask absolutely everybody who comes on the podcast. Here we go. What is your favorite camp song?
Favorite camp song? Oh, the penguin song.
Penguin song, Penguin's Attention. I'm with you. It's very popular here in the speed round because people have sung it a lot. What's your favorite item on the salad bar?
Oh, that's a good one. Probably the water chestnuts. They're really crunchy.
Oh, that is kind of a deep cut. Not a lot of people going water chestnuts, but you're right there. You believe in it.
I don't know. It makes it interesting texture. I like it. It's different.
Listen, I don't disagree. Not a lot of people go that direction. Favorite lip balm flavor?
Oh, what's the Wada Colada?
Wada Colada. Yes.
Yes, that one saved me this summer for sure.
I talked to Lyric for the first episode of the podcast this season, and he said he got home and he had 5 of them, so he must have really liked it.
Oh, I think every flavor. I don't know how it just happened.
They're actually unlosable. People don't know that about a GAC lip balm, but if it survives the summer, you'll never ever lose it. It'll just keep turning up.
Oh yeah, I find them in the most random places, and I'm like, wow, I'm so glad I have this.
This is convenient.
Yeah.
Mallows or popcorn?
Oh, mallows for sure.
No hesitation whatsoever.
I'm not a popcorn fan at all, so yeah, marshmallows for the win.
Fair enough. And finally, Avo, what's your real name?
Okay.
Oh no, we're all out of time. You'll have to come back on the podcast. We'll get it for you next time. Avo, thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. My real name is actually Avocado. Didn't want to give it away, but
fair enough. Well, there you go. You gave it away there at the end. We're going to leave this all in.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, thanks for having me, Soy. It was good to chat about camp and all the good times at Gold Arrow.
It always is. And now, it's time for another GACspiration with Sunshine.
One of the things that we believe at GAC is that trying new things is really great, even if you fail over and over again. So today's GACspiration comes from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising up every time we fail.
Joke of the cast, 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 joke of the cast. I was thinking the other day about how parallel lines have so much in common. It's a shame they'll never meet. Well, that does it. That's another GAC Pog-Cast in the books. I hope you enjoyed it. Special thanks to Avo for coming on the show. Really appreciate the perspective of somebody who's new to camp. Thank you also to Sunshine for reading that great GACspiration about getting up and trying again. And thanks to you for listening to the pod. If you enjoyed it, please rate, review, subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get podcasts so new people can find the show. As always, I'm Soy, and I'll save a marshmallow for you.